Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your homeboy, Lee Sean Anderson, and I'm back with another video reaction. Alright, the name of this title is titled Rich People Who Turned Themselves into Plastic. Because, you know, they say life in plastic is fantastic. This video is from Be Amazed. And I think I'm going to be amazed from people turning into plastic. Alright, all this plastic surgery. Man, at the end of the day, man, just love yourself. Look, growing up, I've been teased, ridiculed about my nose, right? Everybody say, dude, you know, 75% of your face is nose. Okay? A whole bunch of stuff. But guess what? I'm not gonna get plastic surgery done on my nose to make it smaller or whatever, because I love me, okay? It is what it is. Now, granted, if you got injured and you need surgery done on your face and whatever, that's fine. I get that. But man, love yourself, man, where you can just look up in a mirror and be like, hey man, another day that I look good. You know, because everybody, if you stare too long at yourself, of course you're going to see like faults and flaws in you and stuff like that. You know, I got, you know, bad skin because the way my hair grow out. You know, it is what it is.
We've all heard the phrase, love the skin you're in. But if there's something you really don't like about your appearance these days, you can probably do something about it. If you have enough money to invest in expensive cosmetic purchases, that is. But what happens when someone with too much money decides they want to change the way they look? Well, this. And
that's the same person?
This, and
oh my god!
This. Without further ado, let's take a look at some filthy rich people who turned themselves into
that second person looks dead, man. The person, oh my god. Wow.
Jocelyn Wildenstein.
That looked like a wig, bro.
Jocelyn Wildenstein to stand next to her former self, you probably wouldn't even think they were distant cousins. In fact, the Jocelyn Wildenstein we see today looks more like a badly drawn cartoon than a real person, let alone a 75-year-old woman. But how did this once attractive American socialite end up with a face that looks like it was inflated by a bicycle pump? Jocelyn was born in Lausanne, Switzerland in 1945, but later moved to Paris where she became a skilled hunter and pilot. Jocelyn was then introduced to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein at a shooting weekend, and the pair married and had 2 children together.
That's crazy.
But Jocelyn later discovered her husband had been cheating on her with a 19-year-old Russian model. And what followed was a high-profile divorce that ended less than amicably in 1999. Desperate to lure her ex-husband back, Jocelyn hatched a plan. If her husband loved hunting big cats so much, she would just turn herself into one. After the split, Jocelyn secured a $2.5 billion settlement and over $100 million a year in maintenance, making her one of America's wealthiest women at the time.
Wow.
And what did she do with all that dough?
Destroyed her
face.
She
punted into expensive surgeries, that's what. Experts speculate that she has had upper and lower eyelid surgery.
She should have stopped them at the first face.
Lip plumping injections, chin augmentation, fat grafting, and cheek implants, among other procedures.
Oh my god.
It's also thought that she has undergone a procedure called canthopexy, which elevates the eyes to give them a cat-like appearance. Despite all this, Jocelyn claims she hasn't had a single surgery and says her looks are all down to her Swiss heritage.
She lied.
Ah, yes, I forgot everyone in Switzerland looked like lion-human hybrids. After Jocelyn's ex-husband died in 2008, she resided in a cushy $13 million apartment on the 51st floor of the Trump Towers. But all that came crashing down in 2018 when she shockingly filed for bankruptcy, claiming her bank account balance was at $0. I wonder if plastic surgeons take IOUs these days. Detox. This next cosmetic surgery fanatic needs no real introduction if there are any RuPaul's Drag Race fans in the house. Detox, real name Matthew Sanderson, is a world-famous drag queen and one of the most memorable contestants from the show, placing 4th on season 5 and later returning
My
for
mom
All
loved this
Stars
drag queen
2,
show.
where she
RuPaul?
was the runner-up. Detox may not have taken home the crown on either occasion, but she certainly holds the title as one of the most cosmetically enhanced queens from the show. Detox started getting famous by performing in nightclubs in the early 2000s, and even had appearances in music videos for huge stars like Rihanna and Kesha. Since then, she has carved out a successful career, even appearing on the cover of New York Magazine in 2019 and placing 14th on the magazine's list of the 100 most powerful drag queens in America. Of course,
People really love drag queens, man.
Without all the makeup and wigs, but Sanderson himself has also changed pretty drastically in appearance. He once looked like any other ordinary, nerdy kid and discovered plastic surgery at the age of 17 after attending his very first drag show. Looking back on this time in his life, Sanderson once said, "My entire life I was a string bean. I was very skinny, and I realized that I could have a beautiful body by injection." And that's exactly what he did. Although
why you just don't work out?
The number of procedures that went into the making of Detox is unknown. Sanderson has previously talked about having gallons of silicone injected into his body, including his hips, pecs, shoulders, and butt.
But doing that is
Detox hit the headlines after a procedure designed to manufacture the perfect six-pack went horribly wrong. As you can see, Sanderson's abs ended up looking totally uneven and lumpy. Detox then appeared on the TV show Botched, where he begged celebrity surgeons to fix the embarrassing abs. Man, rich people will truly stop at nothing to avoid actually working
Did I just say that? Oh my
Plastic
gosh.
surgery is still a pretty controversial subject these days. but
Planet
thankfully,
Fitness is
there
$10
are
a month.
easier ways to help keep your appearance under control. Nanette Hammond.
This
Remember
person
the
looks scary.
iconic line, "I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom," in Mean Girls? That pretty much sums up the vibe of 45-year-old mother of 5 Nanette Hammond. This Cincinnati mom decided that looking quote-unquote normal just wasn't for her. Instead, she decided that she wanted to look like,
She decent
you
for
guessed it,
45.
Barbie. Hammond, who loved to play with dolls as a little girl, has already spent nearly $500,000 on her
And look at her, back
transformation
then
to
she
date,
wasn't even
and she
ugly.
has no
So why is she
plans
doing
to
all this
stop
stuff on her
anytime
face,
soon.
man?
Her cosmetic surgery journey kicked off when she was just 21. Shortly after, she started dyeing her hair signature platinum blonde when she dropped $3,000 on her very first chest augmentation surgery. Soon afterwards, she started getting regular Botox injections as well as collagen filler for her lips, something which has become a ritual these days. When Nanette reached her early 30s, she really started splashing the cash, spending about $1,700 on extensions and hair coloring, as well as $140 a month on
no
spray
cap, she look
tans,
good, I ain't gonna
$350 on
But it's like,
manicures and
why?
pedicures, and $490 on eyelash extensions. Because of her impossibly small frame, Nanette has to get custom-tailored clothes made, which costs another $280 a month. And it doesn't end there. Nanette got another chest enhancement at 38, boosting her cup size to a 28H for the low price of $9,800. On top of that, she has spent $50,800 on dental veneers for that perfect cartoonish
That's a car.
smile.
That's actually
How
a
does
truck.
she pay for it all, you ask? Well, that's simple. She doesn't. Her husband, Dave, does. To really complete her Barbie fantasy, Nanette even has 3 custom-made Barbie cars
Hey, I'ma
totaling
keep that
a
to
whopping
myself.
$247,000, also bought by Dave. Nanette doesn't make any apologies for her lavish lifestyle and loves the idea that she will probably look like
It
Barbie
ain't simping
well
if
into
you
her
got
old
it, I
age.
guess. I don't
What do
know.
her kids think? Well, in Nanette's own words, they're just so proud of me and what I've achieved through surgery. Aw, isn't that precious? Jessica Alves. It doesn't take a genius to see
look
that
like a
the
fish.
36-year-old Brazilian-British TV personality and former air steward Jessica Alves has had more than just a few touch-ups over the years, but her cosmetic surgery journey is even wilder than you can imagine. This
It's
plastic
scary, bro.
princess was born Rodrigo Alves in Sao Paulo on the 30th of July,
So,
1983,
you a
to
boy?
a Brazilian mother and British father.
Rodrigo?
Alves' grandfather bought her Barbie dolls and let her dress however she wanted as a child. However, Alves was never happy in her own body growing up and was bullied for the way she looked, which led to an infatuation with the kind of perfection only a plastic doll could possess. At just 19 years old, Alves had her first nose job, opening up a whole new world of possibilities. But the first doll she sought to emulate wasn't Barbie, it was Ken. Having been self-conscious for so long, Alves decided to transform herself into the ultimate image of masculinity, complete with bulging pecs, rippling abs, and chiseled cheekbones. Of course, it was all manufactured. In fact, just a few of the whopping 103 different surgeries, totaling over $500,000, that went into this striking look include a hair implant, brow lift, eye lift, ears pinned back, cheek implants,
this
and
is
fillers
wild.
pumped into her shoulders, triceps, and abs to create the quote-unquote perfect six-pack. But at the start of 2019, Alves started to come to terms with something.
That body
she'd been
looked
holding
nasty.
back
That
for a
stomach?
long time. She was transgender. The image of her desires wasn't Ken after all. It was Barbie. A year later, Alves came out publicly and debuted her female name and her new look to the world. As you can see, Alves now has luscious blonde locks, a curvaceous waist, full lips, and an ample bosom. She's already dropped a further $130,000 on her female transition, with surgeries including six-pack removal, chest augmentation, Adam's apple and jawline shaving, a face and eye lift, liposuction, and Botox.
She still looks
how
scary.
does she afford it all? Her family owns a string of grocery stores in Brazil, which has made them very wealthy. Although it's unclear exactly how
That
much
nose, oh
Alves
my
has
God.
profited from the business herself. But she also inherited several properties in Marbella, Spain, which she lets out to tourists. What's more, she has become something of a TV personality over the years, booking gigs on various reality TV shows like Celebrity Big Brother UK. Although her appearance is already pretty striking, Alves still has plenty of cosmetic procedures in mind alongside her dream of full gender reassignment surgery. For Alves, true happiness is life's greatest investment. Valeria Lukyanova. If you
Got
have
those
a
anime
vague
eyes.
idea of what a Barbie doll looks like, then 35-year-old Ukrainian model Valeria Lukyanova will probably seem eerily familiar to you. That's because she is known as the world's real-life Barbie, and it's easy to see why.
Look at her,
With her
her
mesmerizing ice blue eyes, perfectly straight blonde platinum hair, and impossible bodily proportions, it's hard to believe that Valeria wasn't made in a factory. This life-size doll actually
Look at her frame.
grew up in
Look at them hips.
Tiraspol, a gloomy city in Europe's poorest country, Moldova. Valeria rebelled as a teen and originally went for a more gothic look, but when she turned 16 and moved to Odessa in the south of Ukraine, everything changed. After landing some small-time modeling gigs, Valeria dyed her hair platinum for the very first time and met a wealthy construction mogul named Dmitry. Valeria had already learned to apply her makeup and style her hair in increasingly theatrical ways by now, but with a little help from Dmitry's bank account, her metamorphosis really kicked into high gear. Nowadays, her waist is impossibly small, and her proportions barely resemble those of a normal human being. But if you want to know exactly what procedures helped her
Why
achieve
none of
that
these
look, you'll have
dudes
a
is telling
hard
they
time
women,
hearing it straight
girl,
from
you
the
don't need
horse's
surgery.
mouth.
You look good
the
to me.
only surgery Valeria has ever admitted to is some chest augmentations, while she claims the rest of her look is simply the product of makeup, daily gym workouts, and a particular diet.
That's a
In
lie.
2014,
Look
she
at them
even
ribs.
stated that she had converted to a cult called Breatharianism and was training herself to live off only light and air. although she soon realized it wasn't sustainable. Valeria has become an incredibly influential figure thanks to her surreal looks, and even has real-life followers such as YouTuber Anastasia Shpagina, who attempt to emulate her appearance using clever makeup tricks.
Oh, okay. I
This
thought she was pulling something out of her
Barbie
eye,
might
dude.
be strangely unnerving to look at, but let's just be thankful she
Look
didn't
at
choose
her
to model
hips,
herself
bro.
after Chucky instead.
That is
Justin
unnatural to
Jetlica.
get your hip like that.
If Valeria Lukianova is a human Barbie doll, then Justin Jetlica is Ken. Seriously, if this guy stood in a shop window pretending to be a mannequin, you probably wouldn't look twice. Justin, now 40 years old, was born in New York in 1980 and became obsessed with the idea of cosmetic surgery after watching the reality show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous as a child. For Justin, surgery was a symbol of the kind of wealth and glamorous lifestyles he wanted to emulate. Unfortunately for him, his parents did not approve of cosmetic enhancements, so he was forced to wait until he was old enough to begin his transformation. 4 days after his 18th birthday, Justin got a nose reconstruction, and the rest, as they say, is history.
See, he should have loved his bell pepper-sized nose like me,
already
man.
undergone approximately 190 cosmetic procedures, including rhinoplasty, chest implants, shoulder implants, bicep implants, brow shaving and lifts, cheek augmentations, and various
Again,
liposuction.
Planet Fitness is
Since
$10
then,
a
it has
month.
been rumored that Justin has racked up over 1,000 different procedures, which probably makes him about 99.9% plastic at this point. Although Justin doesn't appear to come from a particularly wealthy background, he was married to a successful businessman, and the couple lived in Trump Tower before divorcing in 2016. So that might explain how he can continue to
Who was he
fuel
married
his
to?
obsession. At one point, Justin claimed that he had spent around $600,000 on various surgeries and treatments. Nowadays, Justin resides in Australia, where he is proudly part of a polyamorous relationship. Well, this is certainly a more modern interpretation
So he got
of the
two
Barbie and
boyfriends
Ken
now?
story I knew well growing up.
He a player.
Saha
Oh my
Tabar.
God, she is
While
scary.
Valeria Lukianova's muse is a plastic doll, Sahar Tabar, a 22-year-old Iranian influencer, chose to
She
model
was pretty.
herself after someone who is more,
The Crypt
alive.
Keeper?
For Sahar, it seems Hollywood icon Angelina Jolie is the true epitome of beauty. But if she thinks this is what Jolie looks like, then she probably needs her eyes tested. In fact, Sahar...
Yo, I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to say this disrespectfully. But whoever's your plastic surgeon did not like you. They did not like you at all. If you was to come in there and say, hey, can you make my face look like Angelina Jolie? And they turned you into the Crypt Keeper, I would sue for malpractice. That is malpractice. Ain't no way you can look in the mirror and be like, dang, I look like Angelina Jolie. You look dead. You look like you died 10 years ago.
In fact, Sahar looks more like an undead version of the star, so it's no
There you
wonder
go.
she's often referred to as the zombie Angelina Jolie. Once upon a time,
People call her that for real?
whose real name is actually Fatima Kishvan, looked like an ordinary teenager.
And the
But
sad
by
part is
17,
she was a
already
good-looking woman.
racking up hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram after posting oddly disturbing images of her distorted appearance. As you can probably tell, it seems like
She should have stopped.
was pretty heavy on the use of Photoshop to warp the way she looks, which explains the turned-up nose, super skinny limbs, and weird dappled skin we see in her photos. She also wears colored contacts and cheek piercings to exaggerate her look, but there's no doubt some surgical enhancement was involved.
So she wanted to look like
She
that
doesn't
on
look
purpose.
quite so extreme in videos uploaded to her social media, it's plainly obvious that Sahar had a huge transformation from the fresh-faced teen she once was. Her nose looks more pinched, her cheeks look gaunt, and her lips look significantly fuller, suggesting she has undergone rhinoplasty, liposuction, and injectable fillers.
This made me sad. I ain't gonna
Unfortunately, it's unlikely we will ever learn more about Sahar Tabar's personal life, or how she had the means to afford her cosmetic surgeries, because she was arrested in Tehran in October 2019. Sahar was charged with the corruption of young people, as well as blasphemy, inciting violence, and gaining income through inappropriate means. She was sentenced to a whopping 10 years in jail, and has since pleaded for Angelina Jolie to campaign for her release. Sahar's Instagram account was also deleted following her arrest, so it doesn't seem like we'll be hearing
because social media is so strict over there in those countries. That's what I'm believing.
Pixie Fox. Many women strive to achieve that hourglass figure, but what does that really mean? Well, just ask model and former electrician Pixie Fox, who has spent over $125,000 on surgeries to turn herself from an ordinary woman into a living cartoon.
Oh, she got her ribs removed.
The 31-year-old aspires to look like her favorite characters, from The Little Mermaid to Jessica Rabbit, and will stop at nothing to achieve it. So far, she has already gone under the knife in over 200 different plastic surgeries, including a nose job, eyelid surgery, a brow lift, lip and cheek fillers, 4 chest augmentation surgeries, and a Brazilian butt lift. Pixie has also had permanent makeup, a cosmetic technique that involves tattooing the face with designs that resemble makeup, such as eyeliner, and enhancing the color of the cheeks and lips. But that's
crazy. I never even heard of something like
Pixie
that.
has done to reach her goal. Of course, cartoons are known for having impossible bodily proportions, but there was just one thing standing in Pixie's way: her ribs. So in 2015, she went ahead and had 6 ribs removed in order to suck her waist in as tightly as possible. She described the procedure as a dream, but admitted that it wouldn't be done by most plastic surgeons in the United States. Pixie, who had already been wearing a corset 24 hours a day, now has a 16-inch waist, but is hoping to break the current world record of 15 inches. But that's not all. She also had her nose and ears pointed to achieve that comic book look, and even traveled to South Korea in 2017 to have her jaw broken, shaved, and reset to give her a more pointed chin. A year earlier, in 2016, Pixie made headlines when she underwent a risky surgery to give herself permanent eye implants. The procedure, which was performed in New Delhi, India, and is usually only done to correct abnormalities, cost around $5,600 and permanently changed her eye color from blue to a more deliberately cartoonish sea green. Having been featured in countless magazines, over 180 newspapers and television channels in 42 different countries, it seems like the media's continuing obsession with Pixie's cosmetic journey might also be enough to fund it. I wonder how long it will be until Pixie discovers a surgery that can somehow turn her into a 2D human.
Facts.
Fulvia Pellegrino. If you were to walk past 56-year-old Italian woman Fulvia Pellegrino on the street, you might think you just passed a glamorous blow-up doll come to life. But take one look at Fulvia on her wedding day, and you'd hardly be able to pick her out of a lineup. Oh, my bad. I didn't even point her out in the photo. She's the one wearing the tie. If you haven't put 2 and 2 together by now, Fulvia, formerly known as Fulvio, is a transgender woman. Fulvia realized she was born in the wrong body when she was just 15. But she knew those in her small hometown of Peveragno would not understand, not least her highly religious family. So Fulvia kept her identity secret and vowed to live life as a man. True to her plan, she met her wife Marisa, the other woman in the photo, and the pair started a family together. By day, Fulvia embodied exaggerated masculinity, racking up a collection of guns and expensive cars. By night, however, she would frequent local gay bars and would even cross-dress in the safety of her own garage. But some 20 years ago, Fulvia decided that she could no longer hide her true identity from the world. She told her wife Marisa that she had plans to transition. And after coming to terms with the initial shock, Marisa decided to stick by her. Although Fulvia used to run a restaurant, she no longer works, and the couple depend on Marisa's salary as a holistic therapist. But Fulvia knew that wouldn't get her far when it came to going under the knife. So Fulvia sold her guns, cars, her former restaurant, and even a house in France to finance her expensive surgeries.
Wow.
With support from Marisa, Fulvia has spent almost $80,000 on her transition, which has included 150 lip and cheekbone injections, 4 chest augmentation surgeries, 2 rounds of liposuction, skin removal and laser hair removal treatments, as well as a butt lift, costing a cool $30,000. But Fulvia isn't satisfied just yet. She still has a few procedures in mind, including full gender reassignment surgery. What's more, some of her surgeries didn't quite go as planned. One left her belly button 6 inches lower than it should be, while her botched lips looked too unnatural for her liking. Sadly, Fulvia has been disowned by her family, and she and Marisa have been ostracized from their town. But they still have each other, and that's all that matters. You can't put a price on love. Martina Big. Sometimes it seems like plastic surgery addicts are just trying to outdo each other when it comes to sheer shock factor. But if you ask me, there's only one queen of extreme body modification, and that's the Martina Big. The 32-year-old was born in a Western German town near Luxembourg in 1988 and began her career as a flight attendant after graduating high school. Martina met her pilot husband Michael on the job, but stopped working in 2012 to pursue modeling and acting full-time. At this point in her career, it's safe to say Martina looked a little different compared to the women we see today. No, I'm not kidding. That really is her. In December 2012, Martina underwent her first chest augmentation surgery with large expandable implants. Since then, she has had 23 further enhancements to add volume to her assets, reaching a monumental bra size of 32S. To put that into some perspective, each one of Martina's bazookas now contain an implant nearly 10 times the size of a double D implant, which she inflates using a saline pump. But that's far from the most shocking thing about Miss Big. You may have noticed by now that over the course of her body transformation, she has also become considerably darker. At first, it started with an unhealthy obsession with sunbed tanning, which raised eyebrows as she veered further and further away from her natural-born race. But then Martina had an epiphany. What if she wasn't supposed to be a white woman after all? In fact, the formerly fair-skinned model claimed that her eyebrow and hair color miraculously changed after she had a series of experimental tanning injections, which revealed her true calling in life. In 2019, Martina made headlines when she announced that she had recently visited Kenya alongside boyfriend Michael, where she was baptized by a Kenyan pastor who gave her the name Malaika Kubwa, meaning big angel in Swahili. Although she has now returned to her native Germany, Martina maintains that she is effectively an African woman at heart and will continue to embrace tradition in spite of the haters. I don't know about you, but I think she should change her name to Martina Problematic.
See how the world is. When you become a black person, they just start hating on you. That's gonna do it with this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's any other videos you want me to react to, let me know in the comments below. Alright, drink lots of water, take care of your body, and I'm out. Deuce, deuce.